This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's another night of the podcast, and we'd like to welcome back Mr. Brent Thiel. Thanks for joining us again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're hoping to hear your story of your cat that you shot. Was it last year?
Yes, October.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Deer season.
It's going to be a wild story.
Yeah, I
I'm
heard it
looking
was
forward
pretty
to it.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get to hear it.
We actually just ate some of it.
Yeah, we had some pepperoni sticks. They were pretty good.
Quite tasty.
Yeah.
He was nice enough to share.
It's making noises, folks.
That was my first time ever eating mountain lion pepperoni. It was actually really
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who
I
made
mean,
it?
that's all good.
John.
John.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was very meaty, like dense.
It was very lean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was good.
Not
It
much
was-
oil.
I feel stronger. Do you feel stronger?
Dude, all of a sudden now I feel like I could just like take a deer down with my bare hands.
I don't know what's happening to me right now.
Oh boy, Chris. So lately we had a commission meeting not too long ago,
Yep.
and oh boy,
The craziness just keeps getting better
just keeps
and
continuing.
better and better.
James, why don't you tell us about that?
So there's a
without getting too mad.
I'm not
because-
even at this point. I'm not even mad because the whole story that happened, it was just like, it's just so ridiculous. Yeah, you can get mad, but it's also you just have to go, wow, just this wow. So Melanie Rowland, who is one of the problem commissioners on our state fish and game commission, she was coming up with ideas about how we should manage some of these problem bears in like rural areas and problem areas, because there's a lot of problem bears that move down into town and they create problems and
Eat people and
eat
dogs
people.
and pets and...
I got an idea. How about having a spring bear season?
Oh, you know what, Brent? That would be a fantastic idea. But
Instead of managing our predator population, I have a better idea. And it starts with...
well, we could if we're playing by her playbook, she had this idea that we could put up electric fences.
Oh, geez, tell me more.
So these aren't your everyday average electric fence. Okay,
No,
we're not
not
thinking Jurassic Park here.
Oh, no, I was thinking like... So we have electric fences for our horses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then for cows.
Well,
But
first,
for bears would be like, what's wrong with Jurassic
hold
Park?
on. There's a lot to unpack here. Okay.
Jurassic Park 1 or 2 or...
So first I'm gonna try to tell what she said first.
Okay.
And then we can unpack all of the things that we see with that, right? So
she's either really, really dumb or she's playing dumb.
yeah. So she goes, well, I read this article and she goes, it's a picture of a bear on the front, right?
Okay.
And she goes, it's a grizzly bear.
Okay.
And then someone corrects her and is like, no, it's not. It's a black bear. And she's like, oh, sorry. I guess it's a black bear. So first of all, she can't identify the bear.
That's very helpful when you're a fish and game commissioner.
Yeah.
And you hold all of our hunting in your palms.
Yeah.
Great.
And makes us take the tests.
Yeah, and we have to have a grizzly bear identification
Yeah.
test to hunt any of the units where there's a possible grizzly. So she goes on to say that she's read this article and she thinks it's a great idea that we put up all these electric fences to keep the bears at bay, right? And then one of the Conservation Coalition members, Josh Capel, made a comment about how that is pretty irresponsible to do because, for one, if you're putting miles and miles of electric fence in a wildlife area, that's not a very good way to manage any animals, and that's going to affect a lot more than just bears.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park style, like, right? It'd have to be like Jurassic Park.
It would
size.
have to be, and it couldn't just be a typical horse fence, because imagine a typical horse fence trying to keep a giant black bear at bay for miles and miles.
And that's how are we going to keep all the illegal immigrants from coming in if we put fences up. That's not fair. To give them health care and money. To give them my money that I just paid in taxes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So, but hold on,
putting a
it gets
whole new
better.
twist on
It
it,
gets
Chris.
better. So that
Okay.
there was a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, he brought it to her attention that's probably not a good idea, and she came back to say, it should work just fine. There shouldn't be any maintenance on the fences.
Oh.
There
Maintenance free?
maintenance-free fencing, and there's not going to be any problems with other wildlife because what are the fences going to be? They're going to be underground electric fences. So now we can unpack.
Invisible fence
Invisifence
for 1,000-pound.
for bears instead of carnivore
So-
for your dog.
Bears.
So let's just start at the beginning here. So let's start out with what.
I want to know the cost of how much wire that would be.
So yeah, first of
Like
all,
miles and
you're talking about
miles.
miles and miles of wire.
And
Thousands
then
of miles.
And then to install it.
That's if we go the conventional route of putting up a normal electric fence, which is the only way it would actually work, right? Or possibly work.
And then how are you going to, no one's going to allow this. We don't have that much public ground, so you're talking about private ground now.
Yeah.
So now we're paying private landowners for easements to put up this fence. This is a great idea, guys. You know?
State money because they're not going to pay for it.
Oh yeah, no,
Because
they
they
just
got all
come
this-
up with a great
because they
idea.
got all this
Does
built
she
up
have
money.
an invisible fence company?
Yeah, and so there's the other problem. Like the biggest problem is that this woman is just said that she's going to put this electric fence underground. So either A, she is, how should I say, not very smart. I was going to say something other than that.
Nothing uncouth on this podcast, James.
Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Or she is acting really, really dumb because she wants to implement something, and then if she gets pushed back, be like, "Well, I didn't know." So,
Or I have a third option.
what's the third option?
She's following the Nancy Pelosi guidebook, right? So those of you who are not listening, Nancy Pelosi is quite possibly the richest woman in politics in the history of the world somehow on her massive salary of like 200-something thousand bucks.
Yeah.
Maybe she started an underground electric fence company already.
She's already insider
Hear me out.
trading.
Hear me out.
She has the contracts.
And she has the contract. And she's like, what would be a good idea
Yeah.
if you invest? Could be you.
Could be you.
I'm just saying.
Well, everyone knows how invisible fence works.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be a shock collar.
You have to have a collar on your dog so they don't run through the
Yeah.
fence, right?
So they're going to do just go around and shoot all these
I have
bears with
pictures of collars on wolves.
tags.
Though maybe we should put invisible fence around for the wolves, okay?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, so imagine that though, like if that was the case, we have to catch all these bears, these wild bears, using hounds.
I offer myself as tribute.
We are Bear Country Outdoors is a subcontractor for the state now to catch
Yep.
and collar bears, but somehow they keep dying. I don't know why.
Getting turned into hamburgers and pepperoni sticks.
Well, we can't let it go to
Sausage
waste.
and
This bear must
pepperoni.
have had a heart attack when we caught it.
I don't know what happened.
But it's just crazy to think that someone would be that either that dumb or that bold.
I think that we're so far down the rabbit hole with all these commissioners, and they make such bad decisions, horrible decisions, and they're so brazen in their bad decision making that they can just do and say whatever they want now. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, I mean, they've pretty much proven that no matter what they say, they're going to get away with it because they haven't been removed, and they've said some pretty wild, off the wall shit.
So I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. If you have a chance to vote, unfortunately our guy Semi didn't make it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty bummed about that. But if you can convert as many people as you can to not vote for Bob Ferguson and vote for Dave, that would be real nice for us.
Yeah.
Because if Dave gets in, we might have a chance of getting rid of some of these commissioners.
Possibly. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he stands for, like
It
I
can't.
know
It can't be any
worse.
worse than
No,
what
No,
it
it
is
can't
right
be
now.
worse
Bob
than Bob
Ferguson.
Ferguson for
No.
sure. And even if you're middle of the road and you're like, oh, I can't vote Republican or do anything else, vote for someone else. Like vote for what's the other weird party that everyone
The Green Party.
the Green Party or Libertarian or
Just
whatever.
not Bob Ferguson.
I mean, I don't know if Libertarian.
I love
is
his
the-
commercials too because he plays it off like, "Oh, I'm gonna fix all of these problems," and I'm like,
Yeah,
Oh, Bob.
"Dude, you're part of the problem.
Bob
you've been
is the
part of the
You've
problem.
been part of the
Bob
problem.
is
Yeah.
the problem.
You're not gonna fix shit."
No. All you're gonna do is dump a bunch of tar on everything and throw feathers on it.
Guys, I know I'm going to get off topic here. But long story short, they want to take away all our bear hunting. They want to bring in grizzly bears. They want to control them with invisible fences. Maybe unicorn kisses and some sprinkles. And maybe if we give them cupcakes, they'll just won't eat the people. I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
Does she think that all these bears are like Yogi? Bunch of yogis running
Well,
around?
you know, if you talk to them nice, Doug.
So there was
Hey,
just
you boo-boo, you
you
want to
heard
pick
about
the basket?
the I can't remember what state it was. I think it was Montana. The 3-year-old girl that just got ripped out of her tent and mauled by a black bear,
yeah.
and they had to go and kill it. That was 2 days ago. And then today,
A black bear, really?
A black bear, yeah.
Wow.
Today, a bear attacked someone in Cleellum, and they had to go and euthanize it. So it was like Roslyn area or something like that.
You know, if we had a spring bear hunt, it probably could have taken care of
You know,
some problem bears.
and then we got like what's going on in Colorado, where they're going to have this ballot initiative to remove mountain lion,
my
bobcat
God,
hunting,
so
Really
dumb.
bad idea.
And-
really bad idea.
it's just going down all these different paths, and it's just like we're getting hit by one punch to another and another and another, and they're all the same groups. And these commissioners that we have are affiliated and we're in cahoots with a lot of these same groups, and they're using the same messages and the same lingo. And
There's so much money behind it.
Trophy hunting. We're not. You're not using the animal. It's a bunch of lies.
well, I'll tell you one thing. That's bullshit because
Yeah.
I just had a trophy pepperoni stick from a
right.
mountain lion, and
Yes.
it was
Yeah, it was
freaking
delicious.
Yeah.
I would say I would liken the trophy hunting to them banning cat hunting in California, and then the Californians paying the state a massive amount of money to have fish and game and or contractors go out and kill the same amount of cats. And you know what they do with those cats?
throw
They,
them in
they throw them in the garbage.
the landfill.
They have a
Well, they're-
landfill.
They're already doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, they've killed thousands of cats.
Yeah,
a
and
year.
they don't use them.
No.
No.
And they don't talk about it.
No. So they're not paying for the hotels to go stay, and they're not paying, for meals, and they're not paying for hunting equipment, and not paying for gas. They're not paying the taxidermist. They're not paying the butcher. They're not paying all these people where all this money could be driving the
Right.
economy, right? And then
We're-
getting
we're
someone,
we're paying for it.
yeah. Instead, we're paying for it, and the fact that they took away that opportunity to just like hunting's like the most incredible thing, like just being out in the woods. Like, I mean, Brent, you get to go to Wyoming here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to Idaho and Montana with James, and I'm going to hunt here. Doug's going to go over to Eastern Washington, shoot a bear. Like, dude, all kinds of great stuff. And why would you take
all
that
these
away?
trips. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
just collectively,
Yeah.
how many trips in different places are we going to be in the next year?
Yeah,
It's going to be awesome.
yeah. And we're going to spend a shit ton
We're
of
gonna
money.
spend
Don't
a
tell
lot of money.
otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure they know by now, Chris. I get to hear about it all the time,
Yeah,
and now at least I
can't
can
lie
say,
about it
"Honey,
anymore."
it's a tax write-off."
It's a tax write-off. You know?
It's perfect excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just where would we be without it? I don't know. Like maybe I'd be a drug addict. I don't know. Because hunting to me has been such a huge part of my life for
Yeah.
so long. I mean, I don't think I'd be a drug addict, but
What else are you going to do? Play
I don't
video
know.
games, sit inside.
I don't
Be-
like video games.
Are you on the internet?
There's something innate in us in being outdoors and being part of nature. I mean, that's kind of how we're supposed to be. I mean,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be one with nature.
Yeah.
It's in our dinner.
It is in our
Even the
dinner.
Bible calls us to be stewards of the land and the animals that roam it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
That's right.
it's innate in us.
And it like is like a core level, like it's a DNA level. Like you feel it you know, when you're doing it and you're in that kind of, like, I call it like a primal mindset, where you're there to harvest an animal, or, you know, catch a fish or forage or whatever, it feels so natural. It doesn't feel weird.
Yeah.
You know, at least not to me.
Yeah.
Like, lots of stuff feels weird. It feels weird when I go to work and I do weird stuff and I talk to people that are weird and I do weird jobs. But when I'm hunting and fishing and doing stuff like that, that just feels very natural to me. Like, it feels like what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to get back to, you know? And except for I have this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
That thing called money always gets in the way of me doing all those things, you know?
The good old fun tickets.
Yeah. The fun tickets start to run out
Yeah.
if you just hunt and fish all the time. So, anyways.
It should be the other way around.
It should be. You know what? We should get paid to hunt, and then
Well, wait, isn't that
like
what we're
our
trying
free
to do?
time, our free time goes to work.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Yeah.
We go to work about, 2 weeks out of the year?
I need stuffed taxidermy to sponsor us. My taxidermy bills outrageous.
It's a real problem.
It is a real problem.
Yeah.
Well, it starts when you quit life-sizing your animals there, Chris.
Here's the deal. My mama and my daddy did not raise a quitter.
A quitter.
Right? You know?
He's gotten this
You
far.
will eventually run out of room.
Brent, I don't know.
That sounds like a challenge.
You
does.
shoot a
It
big
is.
enough croc, or I don't know where the hell you're going to put that.
No, I'm in the Chris Cantrell camp. I got a life size bear in my living room. I got a life size cougar on my wall in my family room.
Oh, I hear
has
about
Chris
it
been a
from your
good
wife.
or a bad influence on that
You'd
situation?
have to ask my wife. I don't know.
She's a lovely woman.
She's a lovely woman.
She's the best. Some of you may have heard about her.
Mm-hmm.
She runs my life in the gun shop. She does very well. And
She's
Brent's
gotta keep
house
it
is
in
starting to
order.
look pretty awesome.
That's good.
He's got some killer mounts in his house now. Some really good ones.
Nice.
It started with the turkey,
It did start with a
right?
turkey. Yeah.
And then you shot a smasher buck, and then the cat. Like,
yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
Hunterman Thiel.
So go to his Instagram, and he shot a mountain lion, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and he had it mounted by our mutual taxidermist, Stuffed Taxidermy, Brandon, over in Dryden, and it's
He just showed me the picture of the mount. It looks so cool.
PB and jealous, bro, big time. I'm like, because I don't have a cat, number one, and number two, that mount's like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Doug, you'll have to put a picture up of the mount.
yeah. Doug
do
can do
that.
that. Doug's our tech guy.
He did
totally do
have
that.
a really big cat there though. That wasn't my mount. That was probably 160 pound
Really?
Tom. Really,
Wow.
really big Tom.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
That was a big Tom. That was
Yeah,
a
he had it
big-ass
laid out
cat.
on the floor.
Oh,
Nice.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, there's the big cat that I'm working on." He had the actual mount that he's gonna put it on, and I'm like,
yeah,
That's a big form.
yeah.
"Thing is
Yeah.
huge." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Geez,
There's
Louise."
some big cats over there.
You know what we should do? We should just ban cat hunting. Should do that.
Oh,
So
we're
those-
well on our way.
So those giant cats could just start eating all of
We could
us
just
one by
use
one.
electric fences, underground
Electric fences. You know, if we did like, I think if we put like, you know, those things they have in the bathroom that shoots the scents out every time you take a poop. If we put those around with like some anti-cat poopery or something, maybe that would work. That's a good idea. There's no bad ideas here, guys.
You
We
know
the
what?
tree
Or
trust in the nest with the.
You really want to go out on a limb here. If you want to get rid of the homeless problem, maybe we use mountain lion urine and we put those all around the city.
There you go.
We wouldn't have any
boy.
homeless hanging out in the streets anymore. Just like mountain lion
would-
piss everywhere.
I had a guy tell me the perfect fix for the homeless problem, but I don't think I can say it on the podcast.
Is it not appropriate?
It's not
Okay.
appropriate. It would work really well though. DM me, I'll tell you about it.
Well, sounds like what my coworker told me what they do in Colombia.
We'll have to talk about that after. Now I'm curious.
A little TMI.
Well, we should probably jump into Brent's
Yeah,
mountain lion story.
let's jump into some story time.
So-
So,
Sure.
Set the table for us. Like, what
Yeah.
made you want to first do that?
Well, so predator hunting, done quite a bit with Chris. bear. Hadn't shot a cat before, but we have some property over in Chelan on the south side of the lake, and there's certainly cats there. We have a camera trail pictures of them. My buddy has a place down the lake. Literally, he's got big toms walking on his property in like middle of the night, and he's got them on camera.
And that's on the lake, right?
It's on the lake.
Wow. Like in a residential area or
Right,
like
well,
rural?
where the Chelan Winery is?
yeah.
Right across the road in the lake, right there.
Really?
Yeah. So they come over the hill,
Wow.
come down and get some water. And
Maybe a mule deer or two out of the
Yeah.
vineyard.
Or a small dog.
yes.
Yeah.
Or another cat. I don't have it, but I saw a video of a big tom killing a young cat and dragging it to people's car in Chelan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So there's a
pretty
cat.
rowdy.
There's a huge cat problem there. There's a
Yeah.
ton of cats, and the problem with the South Lake Chelan is it's very high hills, and those cats like to sit on top of those hills and look down. Well, people are building up there now,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they're losing their territory, but their numbers are not going down.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was in October. I was deer hunting over there for a couple days. I think I invited some friends, and somebody said, no, I don't want to do that.
I don't like you. You smell like poopery.
But it was super warm. It was like 70 degrees, like in
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
It was super hot. I'm like, God, this is not going to work. There's no deer. They're way up high where it's super cool, or down by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, we have bear and cat, trails on our property all the time. So I'm going to set up and see if I can get a bear or a cat. So go for a little hike up this creek, and I'm sitting early morning, and I'm in this super steep ravine, and I hear something in the creek, and then I start to hear two things in the creek, and I'm starting to kind of get. We know there's a bear up there, but I'm worried. There's maybe a sow and a cub now. I'm not going to shoot a sow and a cub. And
Right.
so I start throwing rocks. got really close. I mean, it was probably like 50 feet. I couldn't see it.
Really?
But anyways, so come down to our cabin and get something to eat. I'm like, well, I'm going to set. We have this big open field, and I set up a blind. And I had an electric call, but it wasn't working. But the motor was, the little tailspin was working.
Oh, okay.
So I put that out in this little field, and I set up a blind. And this was about like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I started mouth calling
Nice.
for an hour.
For an hour?
An hour. So I'm in this
So
blind.
you're just hammering it.
So, and I'm not calling a lot. I'm calling. I'm stopping. Waiting a couple of minutes calling.
Yeah.
But the sound just travels up the super steep hills.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Were you
it
taking
echoes.
breaks in between, or were you calling the entire time?
No, the whole time.
Okay.
But I had this in my mouth. So I had my hand. I had a Primo's,
Like a shooting stick.
shooting stick.
Yeah.
And I had my gun out my blind. I basically buried myself in this blind with a bunch of trees, so it's going to be hard for something to get me. And I'm calling, and it's super quiet. I know the sound's going. Something's probably going to hear it.
Oh yeah.
And about an hour in,
And real quick, what kind of call is that?
this is I can't even read it. It's so small. Dan Thompson game call.
And Brent is not a professional caller, right?
By any means. I literally went to Cabela's. I'm like, oh, that looks like it's like a
Yeah.
distressed rabbit call. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that anyone could just go out and
Yes.
call.
Yes.
I think it's pretty impressive that Brent has the lung capacity to do that for an hour.
I
But-
know. I'm like, man, that's
Mouth
a
calls,
long time.
guys.
Yeah.
He's mouth calling like
Yeah.
for an hour.
Well, my plan was that I would call. It would come in. It would see the thing twirling, and it would eyes on the twirly
Yeah.
bob.
Right.
Yeah, and cats are notorious for once they see something, they're locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm calling. I have my gun pointed towards the decoy
Right.
because that's where I think it's going to probably head.
And what are you shooting?
I have the nice Cantrell Outdoors 300 rum.
nice.
Big old gun that I've killed an elk at 700 yards with. So I'm sitting there, and out of the corner of my eye, there's a blind spot where my blind is. There's a tree, and I can't see around the tree or past the tree. And out of the corner of my eye, here comes a cat, like at 20 feet, like full sprint.
Really?
Like full sprint, like it's coming for because I just blew. So it was It had figured out where it's coming from. It's coming in, running in, stops at 10 feet, looks at me in the blind. My gun's over here.
Oh, so it's running towards you. It's not running towards the decoy.
Decoy didn't care about my decoy. It came to the sound. Came to me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in my blind. I'm buried in my blind, but still 10 feet's pretty close to have a cat.
Yeah.
So my gun's over here. This cat is literally just looking at me like, that's
What?
not what I thought.
the hell are you?
What the hell are you?
Right.
Oh.
So I literally have enough.
They did the oh shit.
I literally have enough time to pull. I'm like literally 90 degrees from where this cat is. I pull the guns out my barrels out the blind.
Yeah.
Pull my gun in, and I didn't even use my scope. I just pointed and
Really?
10 feet.
Wow.
10 feet.
And so did it just drop right there?
It was dead before it hit the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Huge-
mean, 300 Ultra Mag.
300 Ultra Mag right in the neck.
Right,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah. It's and then it fell, did a little quiver and kind
Yeah.
of just slid down a little bit, and I had to go change my pants.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Dude, he sent me the picture. He's like, I just shot a cat. I'm like, bullshit. And he sends me this picture of this cat with a hole in its chest the size of a baseball. I'm like, holy shit.
Would you shoot it?
What did you? He's like, I shot it.
Like Chuck Norris, like punched
Literally,
it right in
it
the
looks
throat.
like
Yeah.
like you punch it. And I'm like, dude, how far did you? He's like, I shot it at 10 feet. I'm like, no way. And then he shows me the picture of the blood in his blind. I'm like, holy shit, that might be 9 feet. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like,
That is so wild, though.
So there's the,
yeah, look at the picture.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
Dude,
quite
that's-
the.
That's
Quite
about as
wound
point
there.
blank.
Oh. I mean, if I'd have used my scope, all I would have seen was brown. If I,
Dude,
Dude, that's an entrance and an exit.
yeah,
that takes some
Yeah.
takes some balls, Brent Thiel.
yeah. Wow.
But and was that your first time ever calling mountain lions?
That was my first time ever calling.
Ever?
Ever. I've never done any
Dude,
coyote calling.
Quit now.
Yeah.
Quit.
I've never done any. Yeah, no, seriously. Only time I've ever called, because I just always thought, well, it's just I'm not
Yeah.
a professional. I don't have the setup for it. That's not something that I spend time.
Right,
doing.
and you don't even know, like, you probably don't even have like the technique really down. You're just like, I'm just gonna blow
And
on
what,
this
you know
thing.
what? I think that's a great. Anybody who's listening right now, like, just give it a go. Who
Just
gives
give it a
shit?
go.
Yeah.
Let her rip.
Yeah.
What's the worst going to happen? Nothing comes in, or you shoot a mountain lion at 10
Yeah.
feet. Like,
Yeah,
I was fairly certain that I probably was going to have a bear come in, because I knew there was a bear there. I mean, it wasn't
Right.
very far from where I was.
Yeah.
Where I was
Right.
calling, and we see bear there all the time. So I was pretty certain that I was going to get something. But I've never seen a cat in the wild. Never
That's
seen a cat.
so
Till it
crazy.
was 10 feet in front of me.
What an experience.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna call so much this fall.
I know.
I'm gonna call so much.
Yeah. And what I didn't, it wasn't like I just said "Meow, meow," the whole time. I literally
Right.
would blow a couple times, take a break, blow, and then I would make it real loud real quick, and then,
Right.
then quiet. So I don't know.
So, when you were doing this though, did you have it like a time set? Like, I'm gonna call for this long, no matter what, or I'm just gonna call until I don't feel like calling.
Yeah, I was. It was too hot. I knew there weren't any deer around. I was just gonna sit there. I had nothing else to do.
Okay.
I would have sat there probably till evening, so
Just blowing on that call.
yeah,
Jeez, man,
That's awesome, dude.
it's
Yeah.
so cool.
yeah.
Let her rip,
Yeah,
guys.
get out there and do it.
This, yeah, you can't. I mean, it's like, what's the worst thing that's
Right.
gonna happen?
Nothing's
Like,
gonna
you
show
know,
up.
You're gonna spend time in the
I mean,
wild.
predators are curious.
Yeah.
You start hearing lots of weird sounds, it ain't going to make a
Well, I mean,
difference.
anything could have showed up, right? Like,
Yeah.
could have been a bobcat, could have
Right.
been
a coyote,
or a bear,
yeah.
chupacabra.
chupacabra,
Uh,
maybe a nosy Karen neighbor lady,
Right.
going, "What's going on over there?"
that would be funny.
Dude,
With a glass of wine. What's going on over here?
The-
You need to keep it down over there.
I called in 2 hikers when I went bear hunting with Keegan.
Did you really?
Yeah, up in we took the horses in a long ways, and we're up in East Jesus, but there's a main hiking trail. It's not the PCT, but I think it connects to it. And
all of them
and
connect
these
to it.
the sounds that these calls make are, it's like the dying rabbit type of deal.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I am ripping, dude. I got the lung capacity, right? I'm giving her the business. And Keegan's sitting there with his ears plugged, and his old man sitting there just shaking his head at me. And here comes two hikers, like ripping through the woods. Did you guys hear that lady? Oh my god! Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that was me.
That was me. You're the lady.
There was a lady screaming. We came to help. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I guess if I identify,
I guess we blew the spot out with hikers. So
That's kind of disappointing.
yeah,
At least if they're hikers, they better be doing something interesting, not just running up to your hunting area and blowing it out.
they were so worried.
Yeah.
Came out of there, like blew out of the woods. Like
Thought somebody was dying.
I would have
wild.
much rather had a mountain lion come out
Yeah.
10 feet, but
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
a little farther than 10 feet.
You'll
though.
probably. I think you're going to get
Maybe
that one
see
here
it
at the house this year.
a little bit further away.
like 100 yards. 100 yards
Yeah.
is good for me.
So I'm literally, it was me, myself. There was nobody else there. I didn't hear a twig. I didn't hear a sound. There was nothing.
You just saw it.
Out of the corner of my eye, when it was coming to pounce, all I saw was that thing, and it was like, oh my god, here comes a cat.
Isn't that-
Crazy.
I mean, this has to
like
be
that.
just kind of surreal, because
Yeah.
I mean, you've never seen one.
Never seen one.
You're
See,
just-
see tracks all the time. Where
Yeah.
on our property.
Yeah.
There's a huge cat problem over there. I mean, it's
Must
bad.
just be really like a ton of cats over there. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone go over to Chelan, start calling for cats.
Go
Well,
go
so-
up to the wineries.
So December at 25 Mile Creek, which is just a stone's throw from our property, a rancher had his dog killed by a cat, and he killed that cat and then shot. There was two of them on his property. Shot two cats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go shoot some cats, guys. Actually, Travis, who was it related to Travis? They were on their motorcycle and died there. Hit a cougar.
Yeah. So that was
They hit a cougar
it was a
and
summer,
died.
It was a summer ago. We were there.
Yeah.
So we were at our condo in
Yeah.
Chelan, which is on the lake. And
What are the chances of that? Jeez.
yeah, so it's coming down. So right where I don't know if you know where that big rock wall is, where that school bus went in.
Yeah.
The water.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, right there.
Really?
So we're sitting there watching. All of a sudden, we see all these lights, like right at dusk. See all these lights, and then it's like no lights. I'm like, oh god, that's not good.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
tons of emergency lights going one way, and then they're turned off, coming back the other way.
Yeah.
So yes, come to find out, a guy and his wife on a motorcycle. She worked at the Chelan Winery as one of the hostess. They're driving into town on his motorcycle, and a big cat coming across the road, probably to get some water. It was in August.
Wow.
They swerved to hit the cat. Somebody found her. They didn't find him at first, and the aid card got to her. She was still alive, and she said, "Yeah, my husband swerved to miss a cougar in the middle of the road." And they said, "Well, we don't." He was over the guardrail, dead, and
Wow.
then she died in the back of the ambulance from probably internal bleeding. But yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So we were there. We saw the whole thing. Didn't know what happened.
Really.
But that next day, we found out what happened.
Well, the whole moral is like, there's more cats than people really recognize
Yeah.
or know, because they're just so stealthy.
Yes.
They're living amongst us, all around us. Unless you have game cameras
Right.
out, you're not going to see them.
Yeah.
Like almost ever. They're smart. They're stealthy. They're quiet. They're
Most
sneaky.
animals, like I think people super underestimate like Brent, like what you're saying, no sound, right?
No sound,
and people
no-
think like, oh, a 200-pound, whatever, like say it's a deer or even like black bears around here get 400 pounds, like, even if it's a 100-pound cat, like imagine your house cat, but 100 pounds. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
I've
I
had 4 this last year, 50 yards from my front door. We had how many bears this week? Right, 50 yards from my
What
front
did you
door.
send me?
5,
Like 5 bears. Yeah.
5 bears. 50 yards from my front door. I've never seen
one 3-legged bear.
a 3-legged bear.
Three-legged bear.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fist fight him. Yeah,
Yeah.
UFC.
I was like, that bear has 3 legs. No, Doug's like, it looks a little
Yeah.
skinny.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mean, you think
that's a
about it,
3-legged bear.
They have to be that stealthy to survive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when they're not that big, when they don't just
Yeah.
automatically show up that big. They've lived in the wild. They grow up in the wild. They're the smart ones, right?
Yeah.
So they know how to survive in the wild. Whereas,
Well, and mountain lions are like the kings of avoiding people
Yeah.
and avoiding being seen.
yeah,
What sucks is
For sure.
So my neighbor above me has a game camera, and so we're all always comparing pictures, right? And so a doe had, I think it was 3 fawns. 3 fawns. One was white, pure white. Not there. We don't have albinos here, but we have piebalds. So it was it still had a black nose, and but I was like, oh, dude, that's so cool, you know. And
Same
then,
genetic though.
yeah, same, because we have a bunch of piebalds. And then I see all these cats, and then I start seeing bears, and then I've seen them go by on my game cameras, right? And then one day I see 2 of the brown fawns come by without the white fawn and without the mom. So something attacked the white one. This is, what I'm guessing.
what
Attacked
you're
the white
guessing.
one. Mom went to
This
go
is
protect.
Chris's
Yeah.
investigative work here.
Yeah. Well, I've seen enough dead deer around here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, a big white target is probably
Right.
going to catch your eye more than a
and
brown
then
one.
and then
100%.
mom tries to defend, said fawn, and then mom gets whacked, and now you got 2 fawns, and I guarantee those fawns will die for sure. They're not going to make it. They have spots. They're too young.
yeah.
So it's just like,
They'll get
like,
picked off by the same cat probably
yeah, probably
weeks apart.
Yeah, because they don't know any better.
Yeah. So I think when it all boils down to the nitty gritty, it's like we need predator hunting seasons. We need more liberal hunting seasons. We need to quit taking away our spring bear and quit cutting down our
Well, and we
cougar
just
seasons.
lost a
And-
month off of our cougar season
Yeah.
on that last game commission meeting. And then we also lost part of the quota. When we already have a problem, it's like an overabundance.
yeah.
And then we lost part of the quota to conflict reduction, like when they go and kill a problem cat.
Yeah, they're
or-
going to count that as
Yeah.
they're going to count that toward the
or a
quota,
vehicular,
Right.
which is insane. The number.
The numbers are already high enough. I mean,
Yeah.
they're already climbing. They're above average. They're above what their objective is.
Right.
And then they never hit the quota in most of these units,
Right.
like especially on the west side. They never hit the quota.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
it's so
we're going to
dense,
eliminate
that,
it.
and you need hounds. There's no
There's
way.
no way.
There's no
You're right. You're
way
100%
cats.
right.
They knew they weren't going to get the whole season. They knew it. They knew they weren't. If they went too hard, they were going to lose. So they thought, well, why not
We'll
just
just nitpick 'em.
we'll take the late part of the season. We'll take the month of April off.
Yeah.
They have a really good strategy, and us as hunters as a whole, we suck.
Yeah.
We suck a bag of dicks because they have the mindset of like how to eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So they're just going to keep chipping away,
Yeah.
chipping away,
Yeah.
chipping away, chipping away, and pretty soon there's not going to be any honey
Well,
left.
and it kind of comes down to like the way I see it now is like do not give an inch,
Right.
not an inch, because we've already given so much,
Right.
and obviously they keep taking,
Yeah.
and people are like, oh, why are you freaking out? Like, and then like acting like it's the end of the world just because you lost a month of the season, or
Right.
you lost a little bit of this, or the quota here, or the quota there, or you lost 10 tags in this unit. It's like
Loss
because
is a loss.
at some point, all those losses are going to add up to be so big that we're not going to have anything left.
Yeah.
And we're getting there. I saw, what's the guy's name? Cable from Lone Star Outdoor Show. Mm-hmm. He posted something like, I don't know, political or something. And I've politics are so like irritating to me. But there was some FUD on there that was like, why do you keep posting political stuff? I don't like it or whatever. Post the funny stuff or something. And he's like, hey, like we're all going to eat a shit sandwich if we don't get involved because politics affects everything.
Yeah.
And they're kicking our ass right now. All these crazy, incredibly left, like, hey, let's transition kids and let's take away guns and let's take away hunting and let's do all this like mind-blowing crazy stuff. Like it used to be bad when you would like hear about like a pedophile, you know, and people are like, yeah, pedophiles are bad. And now we're like, you know what? Let's let the boys into the girls' bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's okay
Well,
because
pedophilia may not be so bad after all.
yeah, like,
Really?
you know,
Yeah.
like they're fighting for like pedophiles to be okay. And I'm like, you know what? Things are about to get real medieval if we keep going the way we're going to go. Cause like there's only so much I'm going to put up with. And I feel like I'm a pretty level headed guy. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are just getting just as fed up as the rest of us. Like, hey,
Yeah, we can take a few punches, but man,
Yeah.
you hit us in the wrong spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole
then it's like-
another ball game.
And then once you get to a certain point, it's like you're going to see red, and then
and then that's all you're gonna see.
yeah, and that's all you're going to see, right?
And I don't have time for a civil war because here's the deal, guys. I haven't got drawn from my oil tags yet.
Yeah.
You know, like I got to go to work.
They
I
got
wonder
some-
how
they
big
got
Ram's
some
going to
smasher
taste.
Rams in there.
Dude, huge Rams.
You do.
Well, that's like
There's
one of the most
some up on
coveted
the
tags.
on north side of the lake too that are big.
Oh yeah, some big ones.
Oh,
They got some nice goats up there too.
man, I haven't seen any.
Well,
goats.
Hartuck had the Chelan Butte tag, and he shot it like a good ram.
Yeah.
But I mean, his kid was born like 2 days prior, so he was like, "Oh, I better not spend a whole bunch of time there."
What was it? It was like the first ram you
It
saw.
was one of the first decent ones that he saw, but he had been over there and seen some smasher like 180 rams
yeah.
that he was like, "Oh."
I want it, but
But he
Just
did,
give
he
me
just
something.
wanted a good ram. He didn't care if it was
Yeah.
the new state record or anything.
I pulled up on Mitchell Creek a couple of years ago, my truck, just on that. There's a lookout, and I pull up, and literally these two Rams, literally just like from me to you, stand up, and and I'm like I guess I probably turn my truck off, and I'm like, and yeah, just literally like 10 feet away. These
Really?
two beautiful full curl. And then I get out of my car and I'm like videotaping. I'm like, I should probably get back in my car.
Right.
Beautiful.
no, you should go try and pet them.
Classic.
They can be a little aggressive too.
Oh god, those freaking things.
The first time I ever saw rams, I tried to sneak up on them to get like pictures, and one of them spotted me and like started chasing me down the mountain. Like they were super aggressive.
Started rearing at you.
Yeah,
Well, you do have that look.
it's just like they put their head down. I'm like,
Well, I mean, when they just stand up in their bed and piss and then lay down in it, I mean, it's kind of an animal you don't want to mess with.
yeah, right. right.
Back to our predator problem. I heard from a fella lately. I'm not going to name him because he hasn't given me permission to say so. But we got some goat surveys back, and they are absolute shit.
Yeah, there's
Really
only
bad.
there's only a couple units in the
Mount-
state
mountain
that
goats?
are not
Mountain goats,
suffering right now.
Yeah. You know what's terrible for mountain goats? Grizzly bears.
They are. They're
You know what we
like
should
the
do?
only predator.
Yeah, we should
Who's that- who's
reintroduce
the-
them.
Who's the guy that videotaped that? Who? What's the Saskatchewan guy? Cody Robbins.
With the bears chasing the goats.
Yeah.
That
So his
one.
wife had a goat tag. He was
Yeah.
videotaping his wife shooting a goat, and he's like, "Stop! Here comes some like grizzly bears, literally running up these rocks like there's nothing." And these
Yeah.
goats, and literally he videotaped the whole scene. It's insane.
That was nuts.
Well, because like mountain grizzlies or grizzly bears are one of the only real predators to
Yeah.
mountain goats. I mean, guess mountain lions could
yeah,
probably
I think
be
mountain
in the
lions.
rocks too. But,
I think mountain lions get a fair amount of goats, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
but grizzly bears is probably top of the list too.
Yeah. I don't know how many black bears kill goats, but I bet you a fair amount of cats kill.
Like
kill
maybe
goats.
in the fringe area where goats come down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I could see maybe a black bear.
I could see a fair amount of cats eating them though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they're
Yeah.
white. They
Yeah.
can see them from a long ways away.
Yeah, cats are
Very
sneaky.
agile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll go
They
in the
need- I would think
rocks.
they need some cover though, but they would maybe not.
I don't know. You watch them videos of them like friggin'
Like jumping off cliffs with them.
yeah,
and stuff.
leopards and shit, just
The
like
snow
Yeah.
leopards where they're like,
snatching.
"There's a snow leopard in this picture. Can you find it?" I'm like, "No, I can't. What the?"
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The same with the mountain lion. It's like, what color is it? Is it dirt?
Yeah.
It's the color of dirt.
Yeah.
Light, dry dirt and dark
What
wet
does
dirt.
the majority of the state look like, or a lot of these states look like in the summertime?
Dirt
Dirt.
Dirt. Yeah. Lots of dirt.
and dead animals from mountain
Yeah.
lions.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole grizzly bear discussion is a completely different.
It's so ridiculous.
Or if you just, work for the Biden administration, you could just push your agenda and make, like, why would that with everything going on in the country, why would that become a top priority for the Biden administration to reintroduce grizzly bears in the state of Washington?
Because it deters from the real problems that we have.
Yeah,
Dude,
apparently.
it's the circus, bro. It's the Coliseum. We're the fighters. Let's, entertain the masses. The thing
Washington and California are the heads of this whole
I
madness.
don't. You're right. I don't see why is that a big priority? It shouldn't be a. I mean,
No, we've gone.
It's a
all
deterrent.
These, we've
It's
gone
like, look at here,
decades
look
and
at here,
decades
yeah.
and decades without grizzlies or without a population, a breeding population that's all over the place.
dude, the
You know,
world,
they've been there, but they're
the world's in chaos right now. Absolute chaos.
yeah.
that's from my seat. That's
Well,
from
that's
my.
a dandy.
Yeah,
ram.
that's a nice.
That
ram.
was literally.
That's a big one, dude.
That's from me inside my car.
That's a big
Yeah.
ram.
We need you some rims.
I know. No way.
Dude, I keep trying every year and I never get a tag.
It was so cool. I kept driving. I kept looking
know.
back, and it was like still sitting on a rock.
That's a really nice ram too.
Yeah.
Like that's a day one shooter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I keep, and then I go way back at Mitchell Creek, and I come, you go way back, and then you come back,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, there they are, sitting on the rock still.
You know, I'm still waiting for him to give one away at the cabin.
I know.
At what?
They
Well,
used to give away
they
ram
used
tags
to,
at the
right?
cabin.
It was
and-
like every other year they would give away a Washington tag, and then it was like the native Scutta tag.
yeah, but
And then-
we haven't had one. We didn't get one last year when we were
No,
supposed to.
it's been like 3 years, hasn't it?
I wonder if you buy the governor's tag, could you shoot one there?
I don't know. That's a good.
I think that
Question.
it's. Well,
This
It's.
is what.
I mean, it is a sheep unit, but it has. Does it have to be any open sheep unit?
I think so.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm too poor to buy a governor's tag,
Yeah,
so it
me
doesn't
too.
matter.
We're acting like
Yeah.
we're acting like we have money
How
to
much
buy
is-
a
Well,
when I-
governor's tag
How
for
much is the
sheep.
governor's sheep tag going for?
I don't know. I'll fly my
I-
helicopter over and
I
check
think
it out
it's
right
pretty
now.
How much was
expensive.
it at the sheep show?
Well, they didn't do a
That was the
governor's.
the
it
moose
was a
tag of the
moose
sheep
tag.
show. The moose
Governor's
tag went
tag.
for what, 50 grand?
50 grand, yeah.
By the way, anyone who's ever been to an auction knows the first guy who bids when the auctioneer starts the auction, you're an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
because he's like, how about we start the bidding at 50 grand? And then some guy in the back's like, me. And then the
Yeah.
whole room was just like, Jesus. Okay.
Not me.
That guy's got a lot of money.
And then no one bid.
Yeah.
And the guy's just like, oh no,
Yeah.
I jumped the shark.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you did. Like,
Maybe he could have got it for 30.
dude, maybe you could have got it for 23, bro.
Yeah. Or maybe
Or maybe.
he wouldn't have got it at all. Maybe he didn't even mean to get it. He's like, I'll just get the
Yeah,
bid and going.
I'm gonna raise the price.
And then no one else bids. He's like, uh-oh, my wife is going to kill me.
Dude.
that happened to a friend of ours.
Well,
Yeah.
hon, I had a 401k.
He hasn't been
Yeah.
back to a dinner auction since.
Yep, he got denied. No more soup for you.
He bid on a Saskatchewan goose hunt. And he got it, but then he didn't read the fine print, and it was like you have to bring 3 friends that pay full price. And it's like, and I told him, I said,
Yeah.
I'll that sounds like fun. I would go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his wife was so mad. She was so mad.
That was a fun.
I think he didn't go. I think
No, he didn't
paid-
go. No, he ate. He ate shit. Yeah, he didn't go. He was just like, I guess that money is gone.
Why didn't he want to go?
Because he had needed 3 guys to pay like a shit ton of money
Yeah.
on top of what he paid, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, "You guys want to spend all this money to go shoot?" I'm like, "I don't want to go to Canada to shoot. I don't give a shit about that. I do that right here for free."
Yeah, we can do it for
You know?
free.
And he's like, "Oh no!" And then his wife finds out because his wife's not there. And I'm not gonna say that we had too much to drink, but man, we were pretty tuned up.
We were, and he hasn't. That was like 5 years ago, maybe.
Dude, a little probably longer than that. It was.
He hasn't been back to an auction.
Haven't seen the
since.
guy outside of the house since.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
goes to work, goes
Poor
home.
guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was in Canada fishing.
I don't know.
ruined
I've been
it.
in the doghouse from auctions before. I mean,
Dude.
it's part of the game, right? Like
Here's the deal.
you come home and you're like, She's like, how much money did you spend? You're like, well, I mean, what is money?
Look what I
What
won.
is
Look what I
too-
won.
what's
Look what
too
I
much money?
Look what I won, honey.
Yeah.
Look at all these guns.
Yeah, look at these prizes I have. Let's just talk about that first.
I can hear my wife walking upstairs. So when I bought the hunt that I'm going on in 2 weeks, I was like, ooh, because it was the guy who I went with previously.
I remember.
You remember this?
Yeah, I was there.
And I was like, I
you
had
bought a bunch of stuff at that one. And I think you
I
got
had
yourself
too
in
many
trouble.
Coors Lights. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and so I grab my paddle and I go to the back
I know.
of
I
the room.
remember.
I waited, and as soon as it started, I was like, boo, boo, with my paddle.
Did you really?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Oh, dude.
And then freaking jerk. So we know the auctioneer, and so I win, obviously, right? And so he's like, "Yeah, I sold a Mr. Cantrell on the back," and my wife's head snaps around. She's like, she looks at me like fire in her eyes, and
yeah.
I'm just like,
Because after you had already bought a bunch of stuff, and she'd pretty much been like, okay, that's enough.
yeah,
Like,
like, let's tone it down. And I'm
Pump
like,
the brakes a little bit there, honey.
I'm like, but Africa, honey.
So what'd you get it for?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was like 3 years ago. 3 years ago?
Was it that
yeah,
long?
I
ago?
want to say it was like 3 years ago. Yeah,
3 years ago.
It was
This was
two or
like the
three
last
years.
year
Yeah,
I could
3 years
use it.
ago.
Yeah. And then my buddy who was with us bought one too. And then I talked him into selling it to my dad, and that's why my dad's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a good deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And you're going to be leaving here at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
And
South
Two
Africa?
weeks, week and a half.
2 weeks. What's that?
South Africa?
South Africa, yeah. And for the crocodile and hippo, we're going right on the border. We're not actually going to go into. We're going to go into Zimbabwe. I think?
Zimbabwe, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, how's the films coming?
Oh, it's coming
Doug says it's coming.
very soon. Very
So-
soon.
Very soon.
All of our rifles are built. They're so nice.
Our sweet, sweet builds.
Our sweet builds. So
Sweet nectar.
we have 300 PRCs built. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing them. I'm going to tell you about it again because I've been at the range a bunch.
We've all been shooting them in this last couple weeks.
Yeah, so I shot some factory ammo out of mine. I shot some 212 and some 225 Hornadies. They shot okay, not great. Like, for me, like the one group was maybe 5/8 of an inch. You could see paper in between some bullet holes. I don't like that. No paper. So I come back.
Very
I know.
picky.
I'm very
Well, you
picky.
should have had me shoot it for you.
Yeah. So I honestly, hey, to be fair, Brent's probably a better shot than me. So I come back to the gun shop and I load up some 210s, some 220s, and some 230s. I'm shooting burgers now. I was shooting ELDXs before and some ELD imps. Go to the range, shoot. I never shot 220s before. I shot 210s and 215s.
I didn't even know they made a 220.
Yeah, so they make a 220. It's a hybrid target,
Okay.
right? So the difference between a hunting bullet and a target bullet with burger is the jacket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
But this is a hybrid.
this is a hybrid, so it's a different slightly different shape, right? So the bullet itself has a thinner jacket,
Okay.
which I'm shooting burgers to like explode anyway. So like I don't get it. I would shoot an animal all day with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have with their target bullets before. So long story short, load them up, go to the range, they shoot very well.
Mm-hmm.
The 220s.
The 220. So I shoot. I have the 210s, 220s, 230s in two different powder charges. The higher powder charge shoots better. So I just loaded up today some more higher powder charges and some different seating depths, and I'm gonna go and shoot those to get it because it shot like I had one. I yanked one. Let's be honest, it was me.
We're talking when yanking, it's a half inch.
Oh, it's not a half inch. It's like less
quarter
than a quarter
inch?
Less than a quarter inch. Yeah.
Yeah, I yanked it. It's a
Yeah,
quarter
there's.
inch.
I mean, you could see like there's paper in between that didn't rip, and then the three are like it's one hole that are probably, if you measure it, it's probably like 0.15 inches, 0.13 inches, something like
You're
that.
shooting a nickel.
Yeah,
Meat in the freezer.
Yeah.
but I want it perfect, right? So the idea is I'm gonna fly
Come on, Chris. Don't you know the paper plate rule?
I know, but the thing
You can
is,
hit the paper plate. Then
I'm flying all the way to South Africa.
That's what my dad was giving Uncle Vern shit about. It was the paper. Oh, I thought you were a paper plate guy.
So I'm going to croc hunt, right?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go on a croc. I'm probably ever going to go on one, most likely.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Where
probably
you
not
shoot-
an every year thing.
Yeah, where you shoot these things is like they have like a walnut-sized brain that you need to shoot them in, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to shoot it more than like 150 yards, I wouldn't think. So the idea is, all right, I need a gun that shoots one whole groups, right? And that way, when I'm freaking jacked up and my fat face is pounding against the gun, when I get this shot at this croc, if I yank it an inch, I'm still in the money,
In the money.
right? So I have all of the stuff to do this, so it'd be silly not to like dial the gun in
Yeah.
perfectly.
No, I understand that.
Is
Yeah.
that a good caliber to shoot a croc with?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So it's
That's a freaking load.
the idea is, so I got a shorter barrel too. So these guys got 24-inch barrels. I got a 22-inch barrel. I'm shooting mine with a can, so it might build a smidgen more pressure with a 22-inch barrel than like if I didn't have it, but it's just not shooting quite as fast, right? Their guns are going to shoot faster than mine. So with a 220 grain bullet, I chronoed it, and I was shooting just over 2,900 feet a second with the hotter loads. So I'm going to try and push it to 3,000 feet a second. With 3,000 feet a second, I should be pushing high threes, maybe not quite 4,000 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. And I want to make sure that I have all of that energy just in case I do yank it an inch, right?
They just unload it.
Yeah, and just dump the croc. 'Cause I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Just that energy alone, even if you are off,
Yeah.
should just
If it's 150 yards, say
its eyeballs should be popping.
yeah, say it's 3,700 foot-pounds of energy or something like that. I want to make sure that like it's lights out, because I already told the guy.
You don't want to go underwater and dive for the crocodile. That you
Yeah,
shoot?
I'm shooting a big croc. I'm not shooting. I won't shoot a 12-foot croc. I'm not doing it. I'm shooting
What are you gonna do with it?
like a big croc. I want like a 15-foot croc.
What are you gonna do with it?
Have you seen Lake Placid? It's going in the koi pond.
It's going in the. I'm bringing it back live,
Wrap it around.
He's
your
going
couch or-
full Atari on us, Jim.
Just put it like animatronics in it, and
Yeah.
it just like comes out of the pond. Rah!
dude. We'll see what I'm gonna go over there. Okay, my wife.
Brandon's pretty creative.
Yeah,
He's
my,
very creative.
my wife doesn't
Oh,
listen to
Except
the
for he's in a
podcast.
croc.
I don't know if he'll be doing it. It'd probably be someone
I
over
don't know
there.
what you're gonna do with it.
I got an idea.
Gun shop?
boys. I got an idea, boys.
We're
Do you
gonna
have
rent
room
it-
in the gun shop?
Chris, we're going to rent a bunch of jackhammers, and we're going to jackhammer up your floor,
Okay.
and then we're going to put it in the
Inlay
floor
the
and
floor.
encase it with
Ooh.
What if
There you go.
what if you
epoxy.
just do like the shelf that Brandon was talking about in the gun shop, like right below the elk, maybe, and then you just have a life-size croc going across the whole.
God damn it, guys! I just realized I didn't go buy a lottery ticket tonight. I should have bought a lottery ticket, and then this would be a moot conversation.
What does that life-size croc even cost?
Who cares,
Is it probably more than the hunt?
dude? Does it matter?
Yes, it's probably more than the hunt.
Here's the deal, boys. I don't make that much money, but I make enough money to know that I'm going to life size it. And here's
And
the
it's
deal.
gonna go where?
And it's gonna go somewhere that won't get me divorced.
Well, that doesn't answer my question.
So downstairs somewhere. I have an idea. I need to talk to my taxidermist. Brandon won't do it. So the guy I'm going with owns a taxidermy studio. He's the one who did the giant mount behind me. I have an idea.
You just gonna hang it from the ceiling?
Have you guys seen Despicable Me?
yes,
In his living room that he's got like
the couch.
the couch.
You're going to make a crocodile couch.
Don't ruin it.
You should do that with the hippo.
Ooh,
So-
actually, I kind of like that idea.
there was a guy in Seattle that had a hippo that he would turn into a bar.
So we're getting ready to this.
So if the hippo goes here, that's a couch. Somehow, I don't know how I'm going to turn the croc into a couch, but the hippo is definitely going to be a couch.
So we have two couches, a hippo and a crocodile couch.
Because they can be
But then the outside would be life size, like a life size animal, and the inside would be the couch, like inside the living room.
No, the hippo, I'm going to build a couch into the hippo.
No, I get it.
Like its guts are going to be like,
So maybe like the
soft,
back.
squishy seating.
So like the back of the hippo would be like look like a normal hippo.
yeah, normal hippo.
And then the
Like if you took
inside.
an ice cream scooper and just scooped out his guts
Jeez.
and just
and
like
half the inside of its belly, and
Yeah.
just put a couch in it.
and put a couch in there.
I like that idea. I like it a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if your random African safari taxidermy studio is going to know how to put a couch in a hippo, but
I'm very persuasive, James.
just get it life size and then just take a freaking demo saw to it.
Yep.
Take it to a upholstery shop.
Here's the deal. The guy.
and then arrive on a semi truck with a trailer.
Oh, dude. There's a guy in Marysville who did the upholstery for my '69 Chevy, and I bet you he would do it.
Oh yeah.
He's like this giant dude, and he's just
Well, you'd have to
"Oh,
like
dude,
reinforce it though. Like it would have to be like reinforced,
Yeah.
like the whole thing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you can't just sit on a piece of foam. Like a couple
Yeah.
big dudes sit down on your hippo
No.
and just
No,
break it in half.
there's gonna be some rebar, with
Okay.
some
Yeah.
angle
You should
iron.
make a hippo grand piano.
Man, it sounds like this is getting more and more expensive just to fit in this room.
Here's the deal, fun police. I'm in it to win it. All right. You live one time. I live my life.
YOLO.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Quarter mile at a time.
All right, Vin Diesel.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited. Is it gonna happen? I hope so.
I mean, you could always do like, I guess if you shot a big 20-foot croc, though, what are you gonna do with the rest of it? Maybe make some boots, maybe some purses. Maybe you make your
Shoot
wife a
croc,
purse.
wear it- what's the,
And then do,
shoot
like,
a-
the
shoot
head.
a gator, wear it later. Shoot
I
a
s-
gator, wear it later.
I still stand by the idea of doing it like Hook and just having it sit there with a big clock in its mouth,
Dude, that'd
like
be
standing up
hilarious.
on its hind leg.
Yeah,
That'd be-
yeah,
Make
Put
it
it in the
into
gun shop.
Yeah.
make it into a giant grandfather clock.
Exactly.
yeah.
There you go.
Kills,
Every
kills
time-
Captain Hook.
Every time someone shows up, you just go, "Oh, do you hear that? Do you hear that?"
How tall are my ceilings in the gun shop?
They're tall enough. They're tall.
I think
It's
there's-
tall enough that
you
you
should
could
have
have it
one-
standing
should have-
up, just
They're
sitting there with a
16
clock.
feet.
You should
Dude,
have a
Okay.
You would be a legend if you put a clock in its mouth and made it like Hook.
Okay, this goes out to our listeners. We need some ideas. I think the ceilings, they're either 15 or 16 feet in the gun shop.
Tall enough
Tall enough.
that you could have a croc standing on its little tiny baby
Do you want
back
to see a Captain Hook croc clock?
damn yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Or do we try and make it into some sort of seating apparatus couch next to the hippo couch? Because I think I'm already sold on the hippo couch, guys.
Or if you
The
have
hippo couch is great, but I think
If you have
I think
something
the
more
croc-
creative,
the croc
let us know.
clock.
yeah.
yes, dude, it would be awesome.
It would.
I think we should do a giveaway on this. I think whoever comes up with the best idea for the hippo or the croc, we should give something away.
Like what?
What are we
Like
gonna give away?
a special Bear Country Outdoors limited edition T-shirt.
300
You know?
PRC.
Not a 300 PRC.
At 300 PRC. Yeah, how about a surprise gift? We'll make it a surprise.
and a Bear
And
Country
a,
Outdoors.
and a limited
to
edition.
be determined.
So
on
you,
the
you
gift.
get a podcast guest only. Did you get a T-shirt last time?
I did not.
Okay,
Oh.
we'll get you a T-shirt.
Yes, we get to give them a T-shirt.
Okay,
All right.
you get a podcast guest only T-shirt and a surprise gift depending on how much we like you. Speaking of, I was on a radio show recently, 710.
The outdoor line.
The outdoor line, yeah. And I went in there, and it's very fancy.
Is it really?
It's a
Oh,
giant.
I could tell just from the picture it looked fancy.
It's a giant building in downtown Seattle, and you walk and you got to like key card in, and there's a guy at the front desk. I had to get a badge.
Where is it?
In downtown Seattle. And so I go in and I'm just like, okay. And there's everything is like glass, so you can see everybody. And it was in the middle of the week, so there's a bunch of people working.
Do they
And
always do it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, except for when they're on the road.
When they're on the road, yeah. Like Tom did it up while he was in Alaska or whatever. So
So is it a studio or is it a?
yeah, so it's like they're like, oh, we got the studio book from 11 to 1. We got a 2-hour show. We got to do, so be here and like. I'm like, do Seattle in my pickup truck. Like I drive a mega cab, guys, and it's not for Seattle. Not a good idea. It was horrible.
Parking the homeless camp.
Oh my gosh. So I finally get in there. I'm walking through, and all these people are looking at me like, "Oh, who's with Tom and Joey?" Because like they know a lot of sports guys, right? And obviously, it's a sports-oriented organization.
And they
right?
see
It's the seven. It's the 7'10" Cairo.
That's a big dude. I bet you he played in the NFL. Or
Yeah,
something.
and they're looking at me like, "Oh, who is that old guy? He probably played, right? You know." So like to the folks at home, I'm a decent sized guy. So you could from like 30, 40, 50 feet, from 57 feet, you would think that like, oh, you know, that 6'4", 270-pound guy, maybe
He's some retired football player.
but yeah, he played. He could tell he lifted a long time ago, right? And so I'm walking through, and people are staring. I'm like
He
kind
was
of
in the
awkward.
Olympics.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
did you play? Yeah, I played.
yeah, Marysville Pilchuck. You ever been to Central Washington University?
Meow, cats.
Wildcats. And I go into their fancy sound studio, and then they have I swear to God, there's a door in the end too, and this kid walks in, and he's mid-20s probably, and he's like, I'm Andrew or whatever his name is, I don't know, and he's a sound technician, and he just sits at the end the whole time.
And just stares at you.
Yeah, and like doing the board and the things and taking the calls and he's just looking at me, and I'm like, because I'm sitting across the end and Joey's over here and Tom's over here. It's like I don't know. You got to wear headphones, and there's a giant microphone thing that comes down. It's super nice. No beers.
No beers.
No beers. Not one beer.
Man, that's
Like,
kinda,
you want something to drink? I'm like, yes.
Is that against
yes.
the policy? Or
I don't know, but they gave me a water that was like this big. If you're not watching on the internet,
It must be BYOB.
it was
Bring
like
your own beers.
it was like a 2-inch
Probably
water
in a
they gave me.
legitimate studio. They can't drink during the day.
So what you're saying is what we got going on is super special.
Oh, guys, this is the best podcast ever. I had a great time. Tom and Joey are like fantastic dudes. It was a lot of fun, but I'm like, this is weird.
You're like, I'm used to
I need a
always
drink.
drinking.
Yeah, I'm like, I would love a Coors Light right now. I mean, it was 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, but still, you know.
Take,
hey.
take the edge off a little
Yeah,
bit.
like, geez, guys.
Words fly a little bit easier.
Yeah. So,
You want to make this show good, or you not want to make it good at all? What do you want?
yeah, that was
Well, we had to do that with Randy Newberg too.
yeah.
Like there was no drinks. There was
Yeah.
we didn't even have a cup of coffee or nothing.
No.
Just Chris gave me a bunch of like Alpha Brain before the podcast. So I was my first time ever taking Alpha Brain. He's like, you got to take this. It'll help you. And all it made me want to do was shit my brains out.
I had a great time on the Randy Newberg podcast. I didn't say a lot, but it was just cool to be there and see stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a different kind of guy. Like as far as like, he's not like us. Like he's not going to say the F words. He's not going to say shit and damn
Yeah.
and all this.
Yeah.
Well, he did say shit on the podcast when we did it. I was like, wow, Randy,
Right.
you naughty boy.
He's a
You need some soap for that mouth, boy.
he's such a nice guy, but
He
like
is.
when we go to lunch, like here's the difference. Like I wanted to have a beer and a burger, and he had like a salad with no dressing and a water.
And a water. And then what did I do?
I don't even remember. I just remember.
I was like, I will take a beer.
Yeah, I was
And
just
Chris
like,
looked at me like, really, James? And
well, I
I'm
was
like,
just like,
I was stressed out, you know?
I need a beer and I need some meat.
yeah, I'm not
me a
gonna,
burger.
I'm not gonna live that long, guys. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That's
you know?
right.
Ask Brent's my surgeon. He knows. He's been in my body. He's seen my knees.
He's got a good run ahead of him, right? He's like, yeah, man.
He's been good for a long time. I'm worried something's bad's gonna happen.
Dude, the Fortress of Solitude inside my knees that you showed me, I was shocked. So he showed me a picture. This is post-surgery after he operates on me. And he goes, yeah, you see this? And I swear to God, it looks like, you guys seen Superman, right? Fortress of Solitude. Like the giant, like, spears of ice coming out of the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, do I have superpowers? And he goes, no, you got gout. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's gout. That's gout. That's not.
gout.
You don't have superpowers. You're fat.
That's the
I'm like, okay, all right.
I didn't say you're fat.
He said,
We're getting so off topic
He
now.
goes- he said,
we're just free falling now.
you could lose about 30 pounds.
30.
Or 40.
Or 50.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The jokes can just keep on rolling, guys.
Yeah.
But I think we need to wrap this one up.
Yeah, we've been going a while.
So let's do a little shout out to our sponsors,
Yeah.
We got some Montana Knife Company, which
we got a couple knives the other day, which we are super excited to use. Got a couple of them Magna Cuts, which are
yeah.
I'm
that new one is pretty sweet.
taking mine to South Africa. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah.
You're not going to cut anything in South Africa.
Did you see the taxidermy that I got back last time? The guys are a little willy-nilly with their knives.
Willy-nilly.
I'm going to do a little work myself.
No, you're going to be sipping a cold one while Jorge's over there.
Jorge.
I don't think they have Jorge's.
Okay.
I think they have more Mandela. You guys missed that story earlier. It was a great
it
story.
was really
good.
We'll tell that one on the next
So
one.
Montana Knife Company, we got some Leupold optics.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of their binoculars. We got some of their new scopes.
The VX6 HDs.
VX6 HDs,
Which are
on our
sweet.
new guns, which are absolutely sweet.
The illuminated reticle on mine I'm super jacked about because they changed it.
Yeah,
and
they did.
I'm a big fan.
What did they do?
So the whole reticle, like I got the T
The whole
Envoy
cross,
reticle.
yeah.
The crosshairs, like, and it's only like, what do you think, Doug? Like 75% of the crosshair in the middle lights up.
Yeah.
Because that used to be just a dot.
Yeah, it
It
used
used
to be
just the dot. Now
yeah,
it's
like
the
the fire
whole
dot,
thing.
and it's.
okay.
I'll show you later. It's
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they're on the American Rifle Co. action builds, the coup de grace lightweight, which we have a code for,
BCO 20.
BCO 24.
Was that? Oh yeah, BCO 24. That's right.
BCO 10 is the caribou gear, I believe. Mm-hmm. You guys, if you don't have caribou gear bags, you guys suck. Like these bags, they're so
We're
good.
shaming them now.
I am. I'm shaming you guys. They're so good. I don't know. I want to say it's for the bags, but they also have a couple other things. Their gun
The
covers?
cover, yeah.
is freaking sweet, man.
Yeah, it's like a one piece. You know, a lot of people have the two pieces,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't really like the two piece.
Or just like a scope
Yeah.
cover in general, like
well, this is like the entire.
gun.
It covers the action. It covers the barrel. Covers
Yeah,
the
like if you're really going into some environment that's really, really going to be harsh on your equipment, it's definitely something to think about having.
Well,
Yeah.
I think even like, you know how you put like your gun in a soft case in the truck or something like that? Like it's really not doing a whole lot, especially like a crappy soft case. Like these covers, you can just throw it on there and you don't beat the crap out of your gun and you don't scratch up your truck either, right?
Right.
Like your bolt handle doesn't rub a hole in your seat or whatever
Think
you're
about
doing.
if you're riding like a quad,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you know, stuff gets super dusty.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking
or
about the
snow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I got
it's a
to
lot.
call Ted because I'm going to start running them in the gun shop for guys.
nice.
Yeah. I had a guy just ask for one because he
So
saw.
go check out Caribou Gear,
Yeah, big fan.
BCO 10.
Yep.
Get a discount. What else? Who else are we missing here?
We got Numa.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Numa's got some sweet brand new stuff that they just came out with this year. We're hoping and just waiting to get our hands on some of that stuff.
That's
Yep.
Numa with a Panuma.
Panuma. You're wearing
with a
one of
P.
their shirts right now.
I am wearing their shirt. Look at that.
Yeah,
Numa
look
with
at
a
you.
P.
Numa with a P.
Yeah.
Like a puma, but
Yeah.
Panuma.
Panuma. Loophole. And on the bottom of the loophole is on the top, and the bottom of the loophole is a Timney trigger.
That's right.
I'm running. We got 3 new triggers actually. We got which is pretty cool. They're running in Remingtons now, like Remington,
Which I like.
running their trigger.
The Remington 700
We have
Remington
a
triggers.
wide
700.
variety of different triggers
Yeah.
that you can run.
And we have a hit trigger as well that's running really nice in the Timneys. I'm a big fan of Timneys. They're good triggers.
They're
really good
super
triggers.
nice.
Yeah. They have a bunch of different shoes. I like the different shoe shape too. So, because some guns I like a fatter shoe or a more curved shoe or
Or a
anyways.
little bit slimmer shoe.
Yeah.
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 I'm more of a slimmer kind of guy, but I know you like them thick.
I sometimes like them thick. Yeah.
I like the adjustability of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's easy to adjust the triggers, right?
Oh,
For the
super.
poundage and
So
stuff.
easy.
Yeah.
Super duper easy. Like when we do trigger jobs in the shop, it's like, I mean, obviously, like Cliff and I do them so much now that takes us seconds, you know, but like, it's so easy. It's like, oh, I know that's about like 2 pounds or 3 pounds, or, you know, like they have 8-ounce triggers and like the 375 Chi-Tac that we're going to be putting together later this year.
Gonna be nice.
Yeah, that'll be 8-ounce trigger. Like it's going to be legit.
And on top of those MDT
Don't put your
chassis,
finger on
Dude,
triggers.
let's be honest here. The 126 chassis if you guys haven't tried one for a chassis, I get it. Some guys are traditional stock guys.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's super nice.
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical at first just with what it is.
Because it looks new and modern.
And the lightweight. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't look traditional.
Yeah, like it doesn't look like a hunting rifle.
We all
It's like
grew up, with the traditional looking style rifle.
the Remington 700
Yep.
Woodstock, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And these they're not that.
100% carbon fiber with the pistol grip and this and that and the cheek piece and having the folding stock, which is freaking really
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to use it on that hunt, and it was like I just folded it in. I didn't have anything sticking up. I had this much sticking out of my pack.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a game changer for real. Because for how many
Well, you know
times
what it's like when you're crawling through the brush.
yeah, and you're catching your buttstock on all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
It folds down to nothing. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And even taking your bolt handle out, right? Like if you have your cheek piece adjusted and that bolt hits that cheek piece.
Yeah, like me, I have my cheek piece high enough to where I can't take
Same
my
with
bolt
mine.
out. Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. And then you're like, oh wait a minute. You just fold the buttstock.
Yeah,
You
just
Yeah.
fold the stock over. and
Yeah. And probably the closest company to us is going to be Benchmark.
Benchmark barrels.
Yeah. They supplied
those
us with some
barrels
carbon
are
fiber
friggin' sweet.
Their
blanks.
barrels are shooting.
I'm not
tight groups.
Yeah, I was telling the boys earlier in the shop when Brent and James and Doug showed up. We're sitting out there, and I'm like, I'm shooting some hand loads, and I adjusted to 220s, and we all have different barrels, right? So like, Doug has a 24, James has a 24. I think do you have the 5R, and you have a 4 groove, and I think I have a 4 groove too. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I'm sure.
But I'm shooting that stuff and I'm getting it dialed in, and I'm like, with a 22-inch barrel, I'm like, I'm going to be giving up some speed. And they have it's a gain twist barrel, right?
Carbon fiber.
So it's a carbon fiber barrel, number one, right?
Carbon fiber wrapped barrel.
Yeah. So it's a steel barrel that they machine down to a specific size and shape, wrap it in carbon fiber. And so you take a bunch of weight out, right? But you add in, the thing is, it's like when they cut that barrel down, it's not just a tiny little skinny tube in the middle, right? It's like, think about it like cooling fins on like a computer, right? So it has more surface area, so it vents the heat faster, right? There's more surface area inside. And something to do with it, I'm not a nerd. I don't understand how the carbon fiber gets all the heat out, but it works really well. Like I shot mine and I was like, holy crap, this works really well.
And a lot of carbon fiber, it also has the vibration.
Yeah, harmonics.
Yeah, like it's very like
it
dampens it.
It dampens,
Yeah.
big time. So I'm shooting a 22-inch barrel. Factory ammo with 212s was high 2700s, and I shot 225s, the Hornadies, and they were like high 26, right at 2700 feet. And then I did some hand loads with 220s, 220 grain bullets, the Burgers, and I'm pushing like 2900 feet a second, no pressure signs, and I'm going to push it faster than that. And like out of a 22-inch barrel, it's pretty fast. But the key is the gain twist. So like it starts out slower and speeds up. So the idea is I can push this bullet faster and faster and faster and faster down the barrel. And if it was all the same twist, I wouldn't be able to do that because it would tear my bullet apart faster. So now that I have this gain twist barrel, I can shoot a bullet faster out of a 22-inch barrel than I could with a standard barrel. And now like I'm hoping for 3,000 feet a second.
So I'm sorry. Does the twist start slower?
It starts slower, right,
and
and
speeds up.
speeds up.
Okay.
Right. So I shoot this 200 big, huge, heavy, long 220 grain bullet, right, and it's coming out, like, oh shit, and as soon as it hits those lands and starts to spin, it's a little bit slower, right, so it doesn't tear that bullet up, and then it starts to speed up as it goes out the end of the barrel. And I mean, I'm not that great of a shot, but I was showing the guys. I mean, like the group it's a hole. It's just a hole. There's no.
They're all one. It was a one-holer.
It's a
much.
one-holer, yeah. And as I dial in my load development, it's going to get better and better and better, and like I'm super excited.
So go check them out. Benchmark barrels.
Yeah, great. Honestly, great people. Like, I think all the people that we're working with, I think we have pretty good personal
relationships
with, and they're all really, really good people.
And it's cool that we were able to keep it somewhat local.
Yeah.
As Matt Hartsock likes to say, he said we have to make a new T-shirt that's in Chris's honor that says "Incredible Human Being" on the back.
Just for Chris to wear?
Because Chris always uses it. He's like "Incredible Human Being."
It's a fact. Thanks, man.
Trademark that shit.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Hartsock family, by the way. Good people.
yeah,
Yeah, good folks.
good buddy.
Well, Doug, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah. So, well, thanks everybody for following along with the show. It's been a good old time. Can't wait for to get back out in the woods and do some more hunting. And until next time, stay humble and hunt hard, guys.